Good morning. Welcome to Deacon Jody Daily Part 2. Dose. I want to thank you. It's Saturday, November the 8th. And I did one earlier on the first reading. So today I want to make a comment about this gospel reading from Luke 16. And this is the very famous reading from Luke 16, 9 through 15, where he talks about you can't love God and money. And he goes on to say a couple things. But the first thing I want to do is I want to say, if you heard yesterday's, I told you it was actually my homily at Mass, and I mentioned that today we will actually have the completion of that, and it is where Jesus says that if you engage in dishonest wealth, we had that dishonest steward yesterday, that you're going to be hanging out with them. And you've probably heard through your life people say, you are who you hang around with, or if you hang around with those people, you're going to get in trouble and stuff like that. Well, that's basically what Jesus is saying. If you do dishonest things to hang around with dishonest people, then you're going to live with dishonest people. And he doesn't mean live, he means eternity. So he's predicting that if you're dishonest, that you have not a likely chance to spend an eternity with him. It's the conclusion of yesterday. But he goes further to talk about wealth and God. And he says you cannot serve God and mammon. And I wanted to comment on that because I did go and look up mammon just to make sure that we're all on the same page. And basically, in the context, it means money. And it's kind of dirty money. It's like not God-given money. And what I wanted to comment about was a quote that Bishop Barron put in his daily reflection that I'm going to read to you verbatim, because I think it is very important. And this is from John Chrysostom, who is a great saint. And this is what he says: those who love money are fierce in the pursuit of it, like wild animals pursuing their prey. They betray, cheat, or exploit their closest friend when there is gold or silver to be gained. They learn to make their consequences as numb as fingers on a cold day. Their eyes become blind to the suffering they cause, and their ears deaf to the cries of those whose lives are ruined by them. I think that there's a confusion out there about wealth. I think, first of all, that God put things on the earth for us to benefit from them, and he's a magnificent God, and I think he wants us to benefit from his creation, and I don't think he really wants us to be poor. I think if we are, he wants us to be joyful in our poverty, but I think ultimately he wants us to use the good things that we have to benefit those that are in a poverty state. And that's basically what Bishop Barron's reflection is today, that when we do have good things, we should share it with those that don't have it. And I agree with that. I do wholeheartedly believe in charity and love of your neighbor. But I don't think that that is at the expense of not having things for yourself. Now, I know a lot of people that are wealthy, and not all of them are greedy. And I think that's the difference in life. If you have someone that's greedy and going after money for money's sake, they're putting God first. But you can put God first and be successful in your life to the point where you have the nice things of life. If people looked at me, for example, and my wife, and compared it to somebody who is very, very poor, we would look rich. We're not really rich. I mean, we do struggle, at times, because we're trying to help others and trying to do things, but we're not wanting for anything. And so, to the extent that we are blessed, we need to share with others. So how does that start? It starts with tithing, and I believe to the bottom of my heart that we started to be successful financially when we started tithing. And that's scriptural. We'll maybe talk about tithing some other day. But I think that what Jesus is saying in this reading is that if you're in a pursuit of money at the expense of your salvation, you put your salvation at risk. And I think that we want to avoid that at all costs. And I think that if we are good stewards of the things that God gives us, that then we'll continue to be blessed with more and more, because that's how God is. So today, let us focus on the basis of wealth. There is a book called Compassionate Capitalism. I think it's by Rich DeVos. He was the founder of Amway. Most of y'all know that I've had an Amway business for a long, long time. And in that book, he talks about how you can use capitalism in a compassionate way to the benefit of others. It's a wonderful book, and it really separates the meaning of wealth for personal gain from the meaning of wealth for the greater good. And I think if we focus on that, then we find a way to God through the Beatitudes, the third Beatitude of love or charity. So with that, this was part 2. I hope you enjoy this reflection, and I look forward to getting with you later. I may do another video later in the day, but till then, you pray for me and I'll pray for you. God bless everybody.